Hi everybody, welcome back to STEM with Dr. Eels. Today we're going to be sticking with the vehicle theme and working on some basic helicopter designs. I've got two designs I want to talk to you about today, one of which requires a propeller from a kit or eBay or something similar, and one is a bit of an example of how we can use nature to think about things like vehicles and how we could make a helicopter based on an idea from nature. So first, let's have a look at making a basic helicopter using a pre-made propeller and rubber bands. So the materials I need today are a propeller. This is a pre-made propeller that I got from that Zoomers kit. You can also pick these up from eBay. It doesn't matter if it's a 3-blade or a 2-blade, either one would work. We've got a paddle pop stick, a rubber band, paper clip, glue stick, scissors, some masking tape, and we also have a paper template. We're going to use the helicopter from this today. Again, this came in my kit. I'm pretty sure this is just for show. It probably won't affect how the helicopter flies. So you could draw your own helicopter and the shape wouldn't be super important. Be a bit creative, use some textures and stuff to make it colourful, and we'll add this just to make our helicopter look a bit more like a helicopter. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put together the body of our helicopter. You can see when you buy these pre-made propeller kits, often these are for planes as well. They have this little hook or this little plastic piece here, which you can attach to a stick or to the body of a plane. So we just simply insert that into our paddle pop stick. The next thing we need to do is take our paper clip and we're going to bend it upwards slightly, like so. So I've got my bent paper clip here, and the next step is to tape it to the base of the paddle pop stick, and this is going to act as a hook for the other end of our rubber band. So as you can see, I've just used some masking tape to attach the paper clip to the bottom of my paddle pop stick. So now I have the main body of this helicopter. So next I'm going to cut out my helicopter template here. I'm going to cut both sides out because they're opposing, stick them together, and we'll attach that so we can make our rubber band helicopter look a bit more fancy. So now you can see I've taken my template, cut it out and assembled it. So we're having something that looks pretty close to a helicopter now. The next step is we just need to add the rubber band. Now, depending on what rubber bands you have and how thick they are might determine how much power you get from this helicopter. And if you have smaller rubber bands, you might decide to use multiple. I'm just going to try one for now. There is a second one in the kit, so we can try with the second rubber band as well and see if it makes a difference. So I just need to slide the end over these hooks, which can be a bit difficult. So we have it over the top hook now, and we're going to hook the other end over our paper clip. This will be quite tight. There we go. So this is our assembled helicopter. Now what we have to do is wind it up. And what we're doing is we're adding potential energy to this rubber band. So the idea of potential energy is it's energy that's stored, a bit like a battery, waiting to be used. So as we wind this rubber band up and it gets tighter and tighter, we've got more and more energy being put into this rubber band waiting to be released. And when I let go of this, that rubber band will unwind and spin our rotor, and this creates movement. So this is called kinetic energy. So let's set the camera up and we'll see how this helicopter flies. So, not a very impressive first flight, was it? We can see that the propeller was spinning, but the helicopter fell to the ground. So what do we think's gone wrong? So what's really important to consider with this is that as this propeller is spinning, it's pushing air downwards. And this is generating what we call thrust. And thrust is the power that allows things to move in different directions. In the case of our helicopter, we need this propeller to generate enough thrust to oppose gravity so that our helicopter can fly upwards. So what I found is that with a single rubber band, I just couldn't store enough energy to lift this helicopter up. When I went back and had a look at the instruction book again, it did mention using 2 rubber bands. So let's attach another rubber band and let's see what happens. So this time we can see their helicopter flew, even if it wasn't for very long. Because the rubber bands unwind quite quickly, you'll find that you don't get a very long flight type out of a system like this. It's very quick, a sudden release of energy keeps the helicopter up, and as soon as that rubber band stops unwinding, you can see a helicopter drop back down to the ground. So if you don't have access to this propeller or similar materials, you can also make a helicopter out of paper.
As I mentioned earlier, the paper helicopter is inspired by nature. Here we can see what we call helicopter seeds, and these are seeds that have these blade or wing-like attachments, and as these fall, they spin. This spinning allows them to fall slowly to the ground, and the wind can pick them up and let these seeds travel for a great distance. So what we'll be doing is emulating this with our paper helicopter.
It shows you can use spinning blades to catch air and generate lift and oppose the force of gravity. So this helicopter will fall much slower to the ground because of these spinning blades. So let me show you how that's made.
So to make our paper helicopter, we'll need scissors, a ruler, a paper clip, a grey lead, and some paper. I've just used some red poster paper here. You can probably use just regular A4 printing paper, or if you want to do something that would work a little better or be a bit tougher, you might get some cardstock or something similar. So for this helicopter, I've marked out a rectangle about 6 centimetres wide by 13 centimetres long. You can use templates for this if you have access to a printer, but I'm going to show you how to do it manually as well, so that you can do it anytime. Okay, so now I've got my rectangle cut out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark where the centre of this is. So I've got this about 14 centimetres long in the end. So I'm going to mark the midpoint at 7 and draw a line. I'm also going to mark where the middle is width-wise, so that should be about 3 centimetres, and I'm going to draw a line across there as well. And just having these lines should help me when I'm folding and trying to cut later on. So the next step, I want to fold my bit of paper in half lengthwise, crease it, and then lay it back out flat again. And so now I'm going to cut down lengthways. I don't want to cut all the way to the middle. I'm just going to stop about here. And so this will create the blades of my helicopter when I fold this out. So now I'm going to make 2 cuts halfway down my bit of paper along that middle line I did before. I'm not going to cut all the way to the middle. I only want to cut about halfway on either side. You don't have to be super accurate with this, but just make sure that you're not cutting all the way along. So now I'm going to fold the bottom half of my paper in towards the centre. So this is going to make up the body of my helicopter. So fold and crease to keep it in place. So my next step is I need to fold down the blades of my helicopter, and you want to fold these in the opposite direction, okay? Not the same. So it needs to be opposite, and you basically fold it down to where you cut before. So you can see I might have cut this down a little too far towards the body here. Maybe cut it a little bit less in future, but hopefully this will still work. So now I've got my blades how I want them, and unfold it again so we can see how this is looking. So I'm just going to add my paper clip to the bottom here, and this is going to hold the body together that we folded in before. It's also going to add a bit of weight to the bottom of this, because if I don't have this paper clip, my helicopter can flip over in the air and it doesn't work properly. So this adds a bit of weight and ensures that the body is falling downwards away from the blades. And that's it. So let's see if it works.
So with the paper helicopter, as you can see, as it falls, it spins, and that's slowing its descent. It's generating that lift to oppose gravity, but not generating enough to fly off into the air. So that's 2 different helicopters that we've made today. So hopefully you get an opportunity to make some helicopters of your own, and you're able to send me some photos or some videos of your helicopters in action. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.